Yeah, I mean, we came out flat. I feel like at the start of both halves. And in the first half, we put ourselves in a position where they're making 20 free throws, not just shooting, but making. I think they only had 5 field goals in the first half. So our execution, what we talked about before the game, was perfect. We just were over aggressive, and we didn't adjust to the way the game was being called. So that was on us.
Next question. How difficult was it to get in the rhythm in the first half, just with the stop and go rhythm that it kind of took?
Yeah, well, it sort of goes back to what Moody said. We were slow playing ourselves into the game. I didn't come out ready to play, and I own that. And I think we kind of put ourselves in a hole we had to dig ourselves out of. That doesn't necessarily reflect, like, that reflects on us more than anything.
You always expect the unexpected in these rivalry games. Did Montese do anything different defensively, and did you guys do anything different defensively than what you normally do?
Well, in my opinion, I think that they came out ultra aggressive in the first 8 minutes of the first half. They were ball pressuring and they were denying all the wings. And we had some trouble adjusting to that. And I think that because of that physicality, we tried to reciprocate that on the defensive end, which got us in foul trouble. So we just had a long time to adjust, and then eventually they got a little bit tired and fatigued. They weren't able to sustain that the whole game, and that's kind of when we took advantage. But by that time, they had the momentum, and the home crowd was into it.
Why did they face guarded you for pretty much the whole game, but you got going in the second half?
Yeah.
What were you doing to kind of get loose and get open down the stretch?
Well, there was this constantly hands on my body, and I was just telling the refs that you can't do that, and that's illegal. And the way that they're calling the game, they shouldn't be allowing that. So it freed me up. Obviously, my teammates set some good screens for me to get open. And in high school, I got face guarded every single game, so I know exactly what to do. I know how to play that style, and I know that with my teammates, I know the ball's going to come back to me because we have such a good self-control.
Josh, how do you go about just playing in a game like that when everybody's in foul trouble? I don't even want you to comment on the officiating, but you have to sort of play smart. I mean, you had your 4th foul, I think, with 7 minutes to go, but you stayed in the game. So how do you sort of just navigate it and remain on the court?
Yeah, I think so. I picked up my second one pretty early. The reality was it was both silly fouls by me. I stuck my hands in there. I shouldn't have done that, and I own that. I make no comments on the official. My foul. I stick my hand up and own them all. And I think that's something that I needed to be more disciplined, and I wasn't disciplined enough. And I think I was begging coach to put me back in with that second one. But he knows what's right. He knows, we had a lot of guys in foul trouble. He did the right thing by the team. But yeah, it was hard. But the reality is they had the same issues on their end too. I think Raekwon and Bello might have both had 2 in the first half, if I'm correct. So it was both ways.
Only 4 guys on your team scored only 5 of 10 shots. In what way is that maybe uncharacteristic, or in what ways, if at all, did it kind of disrupt any kind of flow for you guys?
I definitely wouldn't say it disrupted any flow. We make an effort to play together and share the ball throughout the game, and we're going to continue to do that. But I think it was just the way they were guarding us. We took what we felt were the right shots on that possession. But we'll watch the film and see. I'm sure there was times I missed guys who were open, and I should have got other guys involved more.
That sheet. Can I see that?
Aanen, I don't want to bring up too much of a bad memory, but it seemed like after the first game, this series, there was these feelings of this team is right there. A couple of plays go your way, it's the other side. Does this game have that same feeling of just being so close again?
Yeah, it definitely is a heart wrencher. It hurts. But at the time of the first loss, we weren't solidified as a team. This loss, and it's really a 2-point loss, comes after a 5-game win streak. We've solidified as ourselves as a good team in the Big Sky. We found our rhythm, and it definitely hurts, but I think that we still believe in ourselves. We still believe in ourselves.
Josh, on that note, I mean, obviously a disappointing loss, but how do you not let this carry in though? Because you guys have been, as Aanen said, you kind of turned the corner a couple weeks ago and you guys have played pretty well.
Yeah, I kind of mentioned to the group after the game. If you look up now, we're 8-7, sitting in 4th, I imagine, still after tonight. But the reality which everyone needs to grip is that we need to be very disciplined going into these next 3 games, because these next 3 games are very important for seeding. And if we don't bring our game to Monday's practice and have a good week, you can look up after these 3 games and be in a tough position you've got to climb out of. And I think this group has gained a lot of positive momentum. To let one game derail us wouldn't do us like justice. So I think tonight definitely take some time, be disappointed, frustrated, the whole range of emotions you go through. But by Monday, we're going to come back ready to go and have a huge week.
You guys were leading the
more with them.
You guys were leading the Big Sky in three-point percentage, but they kind of took it away. Helped you guys to 5 of 13. So what was the biggest factors of why they were able to take away the 3-point line?
13 isn't too bad, is it? That's mid-30s.
38, I think.
So that's like, we didn't get a lot of attempts.
Yeah. You guys
And that's, that I think a lot of that is the reality of the way they played us, like the pressure they put on us. Guys shot the ball well. Moody was 2 or 3. Josh Vasquez with 3 or 8. That's like they both did a good job shooting the ball. I think it was just the way they guarded us. Yeah.
Yeah, specifically on like pick and rolls and DHOs, coming off that Bello would show to try to take away that 3-pointer coming off the dribble, and backside, whether it's Linnell Martin, Deshaun Thomas, Josh Vasquez, they're not helping, so the roll was open a lot. We're going to see that on